Welcome to the Nerd Party.
I'm Darren Moser,
I'm Philip Gilfus.
I'm Daniel Prue.
and this is City Alpha 3.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to SETI Alpha 3. I am your host this week, Daniel Prue, and joining me, as always, are two of my lovely co-hosts who have the worst jobs on this god-darn planet, Darren and Philip. Hey, Darren, how's the carbon scraping going?
Well, I mean, you made me form my carbon scraper out of carbon, so it's kind of redundant, but I should be done by next census, 2025.
Oh, all right. Nice. And Philip, how are you? How's the, oh God, what was it? What was the job in the
waste,
in the holodeck?
holodeck waste removal or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't get to hear exactly what it
that's
was.
the only
'cause it was
reason
bleeped,
people use it for.
but,
So, you know.
Right. You remove the biomatter.
Yes, and welcome, of course, to a friend of the show, Charlene. Welcome to our little planet here. Our little
Hello.
home.
It's good to be stranded with you once again. Somehow I managed to get out of here and you guys don't, and we never explained that part, but it's okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
It happened to the Harlem
doesn't
Globetrotters, too. It's fine.
Welcome back
We're
from your
episodic
time
here.
as an
We-
extended
it's never
being.
serialized.
Welcome back to the mortal plane.
Right? I can see everything.
Yeah, you must have just ascended,
Meet my friend,
I
the
guess,
koala.
But,
Why is he smiling at me?
It's just the way he is.
Must know something. So we'll start with you, Char. What for anybody who's not aware, you talk extensively, of course, about this show on a podcast here on the network. But for those who may not be who may listen to this show but may not listen to the other show, give us your first general impressions of Lower Decks. Are you a fan? Do you hate it? Where do you fall in the middle? Who's your favorite character? All that sort of stuff. Let us know
All
your
right.
baseline.
Lower Decks is my jam. I am into this show. It is a show that I didn't realize how much I would enjoy in the realm of Star Trek, because when we learned that we were going to get an animated comedy of Star Trek, I thought, okay, this is either going to be really good or it's going to be really bad, because Star Trek does not always succeed at comedy. And Lower Decks is not for everybody. I get that entirely. That's why I'm so glad we're getting a whole multitude of different Treks right now. We have the dramatic, we've got the animated, we're going to have a kids show really soon. We've got a little bit of everything, plus all the stuff we've had before. It's great. But I'm loving Lower Decks. I love adult animation, so I was kind of like the target audience for this kind of show, and I love it. I absolutely love this show. My favorite character right now has probably got to be Mariner, just because we've seen the most of her and I enjoy her. I mean, she's fun. I would like to hang out with her and have a margarita.
Only one though, because we're switching
buffer
shifts.
time.
But yeah, buffer time for sure. Oh, excellent. Okay, well then you are a great person to have along here when we talk about Moist Vessel, the 4th episode from season 1 of Lower Decks, and it's an interesting episode, guys.
It is.
How do you want to break this down? Do we want to do it chronologically? Do we want to do it? I mean, it's obviously a Mariner focused episode for sure. And Darren, I don't know if we want to start here, but maybe we do, because I was thinking about it. Because I'm thinking you're going to say something about. I have this theory, Char, where I wasn't sure, and I posited this theory that everybody knew Mariner was the captain's
Okay.
daughter.
But maybe not everybody does.
And
That's
maybe
not where I was going to start,
but it's
that's
not
a good point.
deconfirmed. I just wanted to bring it up.
Ah.
as it was
I
fresh.
I like to
believe
back
that
up
nobody
just a moment.
knows that Mariner is the captain's daughter. Maybe the high-level ranks do, but definitely not the Lower Decks.
The Dolphins know.
And well, maybe the
They know
Dolphins.
everything, though.
The koala.
He knows
Does he
everything,
know?
too.
That's why he's
So,
smiling.
But I was under the impression that especially the Lower Deck other ensigns don't know that she is the captain's daughter, and Daniel, I think, believed more. It's like, well, how would you not know? They just don't bring it up.
Well, yeah, I think nobody would really be talking about it. So, unless Mariner were to actually say to her fellow comrades, yeah, that's my mom. Why would they know any different? They have the different last name. Yeah, they look a lot alike, but that's neither here nor there.
And Boimler a lot goes like, oh, why are you like razzing the captain? Or, oh, like, how did you get promoted? Like, I don't think he would have said, how did you get promoted without mentioning the fact that she's the captain's daughter if he knew that. So
Right.
And my argument is there's no way she gets away with the nonsense, especially in this episode, that she gets away with unless everybody knows. Because as soon as they bring in, like in the beginning conference room scene, where she's being all crazy and snory and yawny, there's no way that she gets away with that, especially because we see at the end of the episode that the Admiral sees it once and demotes her. And boots her back, and maybe he doesn't know. I don't know. I'm just saying it's weird.
Well, I mean, maybe
It's just
unless
all I'm
you're
saying.
looking up their records, their Starfleet personnel records, maybe you really don't know.
Yeah, I guess that worked for Spock and Michael. Nobody seemed to
I
know
think
about
I
that,
think the
so-
EXO knows,
Zing!
and maybe some of the other upper staff, but we'll see. I think they're saving it for a big reveal drop later on in the season where Boimler's gonna like lose his mind.
And you know he will, because he was just going through pure heck in this episode. The poor guy. All of his worst nightmares came true.
But no, where I was going to start is we have another California class ship, and I was going to educate you guys about the lovely California city of Merced.
Oh, do tell.
Just like so Merced is known as the gateway to Yosemite. 2 hours by automobile to Yosemite National Park. It's the county seat for Merced County. Yeah, there's a California University there. It's a city in
It's pretty
California.
great.
This show
Yeah.
is all. This show is just like a sneaky thing by the California Tourism Board. I think it's like Lord of
This
the
is their
Rings is
secret
just for
campaign.
New Zealand tourism.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
But I think it's
Eventually
funny
we'll get,
though that all the all the cities we have so far, like they're kind of the like I'm waiting for like the Linwood, USS Linwood, and like
the
these just-
Barstow.
Oh man.
Barstow!
Oh man. The Barstow's got to be
Yes.
a red like tactical security. Like everyone's just mad all the time.
Yes.
And they run the temperature at like 40 degrees C all the time.
Oh my God, yes.
Um,
Also, the USS Lost Springs, everybody is just going to be completely methed out.
Oh jeez. But yeah, but we see the Merced, and it's a blue science focus. It's got more blue stripes
Oh, I
on
didn't
it.
even look.
Yeah, it's got more on the top and bottom of the dish. Not quite the same as the Cerritos, which is like just a thin stripe. This, it's like the center hub and like a wedge are blue.
Oh yeah, I see
So
that
because
now.
remember, I think
see it
we'd
now.
heard from the showrunners that the at least the California class ships, they have like specialties as well, like in command or science or engineering. And this, our hero ship, the Cerritos, is more of an operations ship
All about
with
operations.
the yellow stripe.
It really is.
Actually,
I do
sorry,
wanna
I'm
come
just
back-
gonna
I
say.
wanna come
Actually,
back
sorry,
to
Daniel.
this.
It's a medical ship. It's got to be medical. It can't be science because if we see
Can't be
blue, it's
science.
got to be medical,
The
right?
heck with science.
I want to come back to this point because there's something else I wanted to talk about. But you just made me think of the scene in which Mariner
Right.
gets promoted. She gets a
which is
gold
weird.
uniform,
Ooh,
and it's
Yeah.
never explained. And I'm like,
Dude.
what is going on
you guys,
here?
okay, I watched a thing from Mike McMahon about that this afternoon because I was curious about that too. Why the change? You know what they did? They were doing a callback to Geordi.
Right.
Because in season
Oh,
one,
when
he
he
started
gets
off with a red uniform.
promoted,
He gets
he goes
promoted,
gold.
goes to the gold uniform.
Because I was feeling it was
Interesting.
an easier visual representation of the fact that she was a lieutenant, as opposed to just a single pip being the only difference. So every scene you see her in yellow, she's still a lieutenant. But I like that makes that works also together with being a Geordi LaForge callback. Where same with Worf. When Worf moved
That's
from red,
right.
he moved to yellow. So. Maybe that's how like it's like a parabola. It's like you start with red, then you go to like yellow,
And never
and then
hit
if
blue.
you
'cause
and
you'll
then
be-
never go
And
blue,
never go
and
blue,
then,
right?
and then boom,
Or your
captain,
dead end
and
career.
you go,
That's
and you go back to
tapestry.
red.
Dead end career.
Yeah, that's like a tapestry.
Like
Yeah.
she'll never
Picard's
wear
death.
red again until she becomes a captain. It's just like boom, goes right back to red.
It's a rite of passage.
I don't like that. I don't
Well,
like
like I also,
it. I wish they just
I mean,
kept
if I
her
can
red, but-
nitpick because that's what we do. Do you notice she went from ensign to full lieutenant? Just skipped over lieutenant junior grade.
I talked with Tristan, who also thought this was implausible. I think they're trying to exaggerate just how much of a promotion she's getting.
Well, I mean, it's not third year cadet becomes promoted to captain of a starship.
Yeah.
That's implausible.
Well,
True.
and that's true. That was also kind of strange, the fact that even becoming a lieutenant, it's like, okay, but you were an ensign, and now you're like senior staff. And I'm like, whoa. Like, are there other lieutenants that aren't senior staff? Because I have a feeling there should be other lieutenants that don't sit at the poker table. Like, this is an extreme jump.
the mandatory
Folding poker.
table that they have to
Well, I guess we're making this up, but it's fine. I guess she was the operations officer because we haven't met an ops officer for the senior bridge crew.
That's
Hey,
true, because
guys,
the only
is
other
ops-
yellow we see is security
Mhm.
with the Bajoran.
The Bears.
The Bear Pack.
They're called the
Ooh.
Bears.
The Bear Pack. Yeah, Sax. Security officer. Now, is ops some kind of lower decks?
Are you saying there should not be a drinking game
Maybe.
with the word ops?
Oh, I'm saying there should be.
Oh, okay.
I'm just trying to call this out.
Maybe.
Although we do see the main
Question.
chief engineer
We
with the
did.
mustache, but he's like a lieutenant commander,
He
I
is.
think, or something.
Yep.
Probably.
But
I mean, really,
yeah.
they could have made her lieutenant junior grade, and she still could have been a bridge officer. That was Tristan's argument. It's like she jumped rank too much.
Yeah, I mean, Ensign Kim
Well-
was a bridge officer. So,
That's right. He was
I
an
mean,
ops officer.
I get the feeling though that she
Yeah.
was a lieutenant before she got snapped back down.
Mm.
So she's more like Tom Paris than
That- that- that was-
That was
Is
my
what you're
feeling,
saying.
that because it seems like she's done this seesaw a couple of times. So I think she got at least to lieutenant last time, and then got snapped back to ensign.
this was a Voyager callback to where Tuvok was lieutenant commander and Paris was a full lieutenant in the first episode. But then Tuvok gets reduced in rank halfway through the first season to lieutenant, and Tom Paris also gets reduced to lieutenant junior grade halfway through the first season of Voyager, and then it goes from there.
That would have been
There's
funny
only
if
so
Tom
much rank to
wasn't
go around.
reduced, and then Tom goes up, so they swap, and he outranks Tuvok. That would
Yeah,
have been
at some point.
special.
Math was never my specialty.
Tuvok would have hated it.
Yeah. Okay, real quick, I want to go back to because you guys were having real fun with California.
Oh, it's so
geography.
much fun, Dan.
But in the brief description of what had happened before, this episode, I think it opens with just a pretty classic captain's log, right, from the
Yeah.
actual captain.
Yeah.
Which was cool. I kind of like that. It was something that we
They're there,
haven't
they're
seen
at the
in
ship,
the show.
they're doing the thing. There's no like, and then it's already happening.
There's the PowerPoint
Yeah.
presentation.
and
What does that have to do with geography?
there's a. Well, I was going to say that she mentions that her and the first oh God, what's that race called?
Tellarite
Tellarite
captain, yeah.
captain. Thank you. That we see both served on a ship called the
Oh,
Illinois.
right.
I just wanted to say that. They must be bigger than the California. I guess that's a state class. I don't know what you would call
When
it.
Maybe
I
they've got
think
one
it was
for each of
actually
the
a
50
call
states.
out. Yeah, it was a call out to Char and Tristan because, of course, Tristan is in Illinois, and then
Oh,
Char is
there you
in
go. It must
California.
be.
Right, I'm in California.
So that's what it was.
Yeah. Oh, so help me. If there's a USS
That must have been
Covina on tap, I am here for it.
Well, I think Illinois is also not an uncommon name because a lot of the destroyers or the ships in like World War II were named after states. So you had like the USS California and the USS Iowa and things like that. So it does have a nautical heritage for the USS Illinois.
Well, and I'm sure Star Trek's done it before too. It must have. I assume,
know.
But now that
I
I'm
don't
racking
think
my
I've
brain
heard
about
very
it,
many
looking-
states.
Little too American for me, though.
Yeah, after
I mean-
World War III, like Illinois got wiped off the map. So it's like a in memorial name for the
Oh,
ship.
man.
Oh, jeez.
Did they nuke all of
Jeez, that's
Illinois?
sad.
Well, like
Man.
they made a basin and then the lake just flowed in, and
Oh man, they flooded all of Illinois.
who
That
knows?
sucks.
Who knows?
But now you can see New Illinois sometimes when there's a full moon.
Anyways, yeah. So let's talk about. We have this is a much like early in TNG when we see the sister ship of the Galaxy, right? Is it the Galaxy?
Yamato, I think, is the first one we see.
Yeah.
Yamato. Thank you. That's what I was thinking of. Yamato. Yep. We get to see
Merced.
Merced. Is that right? That's right, Darren. Yep. And then of course we get this Tellarite captain, which I thought was fun. Even though he turns out to be.
He's a
Dummies,
Tellarite.
Daniel.
It's pretty much far for the course.
I think that was.
Philip, we won't accept that kind of language on this podcast. They're all dummies.
I'm still enjoying Lower Decks, but like I said, I've said it before, said it again. I always just thought the Lower Decks people were going to be dummies, but everyone's a dummy. The captain's a dummy. The other captain's a dummy. Everyone's a dummy.
But
That's
look,
true.
they're the USS Cerritos, not the Enterprise. They're aspiring.
Right.
So they're not going to be perfect.
She does say she has the finest.
Yeah, but all captains say
crew in the
that,
fleet.
Daniel. All
Yeah.
captains say that.
Everybody.
They also say,
special.
not on my watch.
Cheer
and
up,
it's literally
my
happening
lads.
on your watch now.
I love that line, by the way. It's like, yo, you are in charge. It's happening right now. Do something.
So we get a pretty Star Trek-y plot here where there's a big old ship with a bunch of mummies on it. And they've got to, which they don't come into play at all. So
Well, I think that's why they
it didn't
said
matter.
mummies, because they were in cryo, but they're dead. So it's
Right.
not like they're
So it
in
doesn't
cryo
matter.
like they could come back to life. So
But you would have, but still, I don't know. It's fine.
we
It's
don't
not a
want to
big
feel
deal. You
bad
just-
about
it's like a
stealing their
Chekhov's gun thing.
terraforming technology, Daniel. So they're mummies. Got it? That's
Yeah.
what we're going to put in the report.
Yeah,
They're
dude,
dead.
honestly, we've seen this happen before where they are alive and it didn't end well, okay? It's good that they're dead.
Well, you would have thought that they would have been terraformed at some point. Like I would have thought that. By the way, Darren, it does not count as a technology if it's just liquid. If it's just some
It's
sort of
called
magic
wetware,
liquid
Daniel.
goo.
It's the cutting edge of the technology. So, yeah.
This is red matter all over again. So they have some sort of magical liquid that that basically is a shortcut to a
Genesis?
Genesis.
That's right.
Basically.
They kind
Yeah.
of
Genesis!
It's like
Yeah.
Genesis in a bottle.
Ooh.
Yeah. Take that,
Yeah,
Dr. Marcus.
Is this like
yeah,
new Coke?
all that thing you worked so hard for your
Right.
whole life.
And these guys
but,
had it mastered centuries ago. Sucks.
and they were just slapping it in a bottle.
selling it before they knew what they had.
Before they
Genesis
even
in a
knew what they had.
bottle. I like it.
That's a possible episode title.
So, anyways, I like the whole that whole setup of like this big old ship, and they've got to work together to kind of tractor it back to Starbase, but it goes in all sorts of strange directions. So I don't know, where do you guys want to go from here? Do we want to talk? It's mostly a Mariner story.
I mean, it's
Maybe
so
we
much a
start
Mariner
there.
story. We barely get Rutherford. Like he's almost absent in
Not
this
enough
episode.
Rutherford. Automatic
Yeah.
D- to this episode.
Yeah, that was kind of sad. Well, and I was like, okay, just to talk about Rutherford for a second. The one part where I thought they were going to use him because his job was to monitor the tractor beam.
Yeah.
And so literally the moment that's going wrong, we aren't looking at Rutherford. We're looking at the bridge, I believe. So I'm like, that's the moment you use Rutherford because he would realize something's going wrong. But whatever.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to cut
Yeah.
the tractor beam
But
and
no,
save the ship.
but it's
That's what I
like
thought
he
was gonna
ran out of
happen.
plot points, and I guess he couldn't be in the episode the rest of the time or something.
I'm saying
don't
I
know.
want a Rutherford
busy.
episode. Okay. What the heck?
We've got
That's
6
diminishing
more.
returns.
So we
Char, I know only you understand this. Rutherford is the Yaz of Star Trek Lower Decks.
Dude, you're so right.
They keep
Yes.
promising more, and we never get it.
We need follow through here. I agree with you.
Well, yeah, actually, we should talk about the subplot before we get into all the
Oh,
Mariner
the
stuff, 'cause
Tendi
that's-
plot.
will take a long time. We talk about is that her name? Tendi?
Yeah,
I always
Tendi.
forget her name. And it's kind of strange. I mean, obviously it's strange because this is how they want to do it. But there's a character who is going to
Listen,
and they name drop
The
both
Traveler.
Q and
Yeah.
the Traveler. Thank you. And he's going to do it in. He's got his.
They don't
sand
name
and
check
he's-
West
he's
Crusher,
got-
though.
He's
Yeah.
chanting.
He's checking off the list, but is he doing the real
Yeah,
actual
the Traveler,
work?
folks.
That's what I want to know, because this guy seems way too angry to be ascending. I mean, all that meditation he's done hasn't helped him a bit. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think we missed something in Star Trek if it's literally just a case of of just inner peace and sort of meditation, you would think everybody would be able to ascend. And why
Also
wouldn't that be?
thought,
pretty
like-
yeah, but no.
but-
well, that's why this is bad shtick. He picked this thing to be his thing, and he can't.
His thing.
He's not really doing the things. He's not doing good work here, and so he's a fraud. And so he kind of got what he deserved, though, by being ascended anyway. And so I hope he's really enjoying himself being everything.
Well, it was painful.
I'm glad it was
Certainly.
painful. He was a jerk.
Well, with Ascension, it makes me think more of like Stargate, because Stargate does a lot of stuff with Ascensions, more so I'd say even than Star Trek. And now Lieutenant O'Connell, he was the one voiced by Haley Joel Osment,
Right.
That's right.
in this, which I didn't catch at all that was his voice until.
Wait,
yeah,
that
That's
guy?
him.
Yeah.
That guy? Oh,
I know,
interesting.
right?
I had no idea. That's funny.
but that makes sense. He
Cool.
gets
That's good,
one
okay.
episode and then he, well, I would say dies,
he
but
screws off,
ascends.
yeah.
But yeah,
Ball of lights. So
Right.
add him to the list. A
Yeah.
ball of lights.
I hope he and Q have a really good time.
Yeah.
But really, that whole like B plot, I guess you'd call it, was for us to learn that Tendi really, really wants.
that's true.
Okay,
that does
yeah,
kind
what
of
did you
feel like
guys
the
think?
entire point.
I-
She even spells it out at the end where she's just yelling at Rutherford, like, who doesn't like me? And it's like, this feels very tropish. Like you have one in every office or something. And I'm like, why her? Why the Orion? Like, I would feel like she wouldn't care what anybody else thinks. But
I
You would hope so. What did you guys think? Did you like this subplot?
no, I mean, I did, because I feel like I tried so hard not to be killjoy.
D-, no Rutherford.
Well, yeah. I just thought it was silly, which is dumb to say. This is a comic cartoon, right? It's all going to be silly. But I just thought like her tripping over everything in the sand. I'm like, okay, because I guess with Tendi, I thought like, well, she's the nerd, but like not the slapstick nerd. I mean, I and then now she's the anxiety nerd. I'm like, can't we just not do Tilly with every single character? And so, and again, I know people like.
Yeah, I've
True.
heard that a lot.
It would have been, yeah.
Now, my favorite
I've heard
part.
a lot of people comparing Tendi to Tilly.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Tendi to Tilly. That's really difficult
They
to say.
even sound alike.
Right, yeah, where they're a little too bubbly, they're very energetic and kind of in your face, and yes, they really want you to like them. Here's the thing, though, is it's strange. Tilly never quite got on my nerves the way that, or Tilly never got on my nerves the way Tendi did here.
Mhm.
Like, it was a little too much where it's just like, why do you want people to like you so much? Who gives a you-know-what?
I mean, she's awesome. She doesn't need people. I mean, make it. Just be yourself.
I feel like Tilly's going to brush
Yeah,
it
it
off a
would have
little
been-
better, whereas Tendi is not going to let this go. And so for that, she reminds me of Piper Chapman in season 1 of Orange is the New Black. She's just so freaking naive and way too... She's exerting her energy on all the wrong things. Like, she should have just like, okay, I screwed this up. We need to let this go and leave him alone. And she does all the wrong things here. And it just really gets on my nerves. And a part of it, though, I hate to say, is my own personality where, 1, I would not have done what she did, but 2, I don't give a crap what most people think of me. So I can't relate.
I mean, she's using her leave days for this. Come on. We already talked about the other episode. That's the only currency that exists anymore.
Yeah, and it was annoying in the fact that it was like the opposite of the great joke we got from the episode where Rutherford kept changing jobs. And you expect everyone to be like the normal office answer of, oh my gosh, you're leaving our department. But it was like, oh, yay, be you, and, got to follow your dreams. And, oh, they're so lucky, which was hilarious because that's what we expect from a Star Trek future. So then all of a sudden to have Tendi be the 21st century joke of, oh, like her coworker tells her, leave me alone, and she doesn't. Like, I would think in the 24th century, like, people would respect those boundaries. So it's like, it was,
Right?
that was weird. That was kind of off-putting, where it's like, this is a 20th century joke of, oh, she won't give it up until she makes it happen, and oh, it does, but she annoys them all along the way. Like, that's not funny in the same way that Rutherford's was, because Rutherford's was what we were expecting from a 24th century environment.
Right.
So
Let's kill more children.
And this is what this is what I keep bumping up against in Lower Decks, is like this treadmill of character progression, and I'm sure we'll talk about it with Mariner later on, because it feels like we're just hitting the same beats over and over and over again, and it's like nothing ever happens, no one's changing or moving. It feels like sometimes, and like in a better constructed B plot, at least she would have thought, okay, I'm done. I'm, like you say, Darren, I'm going to respect his wishes and leave him alone. Maybe they would meet up in the crisis of the situation, and then they would have a heart-to-heart or something like that. But here's the thing. They go through this whole thing. She still gets to help him. He still ascends, and she hasn't learned her lesson because she's now yelling at Rutherford, who is a beautiful, innocent butterfly and doesn't deserve to be yelled at. So she still hasn't learned her lesson at the end of the episode. And I'm like, come on.
Yeah.
Okay.
it made me think of, what if this changed? What if instead, so again, she tries to help in the very beginning, and he says, no, just like, leave me alone. So she's like, okay, I'll leave him alone, but I'll do the research. And all we see is her like researching, and she gets like 1 million pads ready, and then she's like, I still got to do more. And she does even more research, and she's like talking to all the aliens and the different species about ascension until she has like a metric ton of pads. And we get the moment where we bring back to the plot that we got, where she runs into him in the corridor when all the terraforming's happening, but that's when she was going to give him all the pads. And then we get the rest of the episode progresses like it did, where she sees him ascend and he tries to save her, but we're cutting out like the third of the episode where she's just annoying him.
And the kiss,
for no reason.
the kiss was pivotal.
Aaron, I love it.
Like right there, like I just took out the middle and fixed it, but I left the end
Yeah.
and the beginning. Like I think
You didn't punch it.
yeah, I punched it.
Yeah, and I'm here for
Good
it.
job,
I mean, that's
Darren.
really good. That takes out all the stuff that I found off-putting in this episode, because Tendi's B-plot really kind of grated on me. Like, it takes this episode down a notch in my rankings overall. It really does. Even though there's good stuff there, it's just she's so annoying, doing all the wrong things that she should not do in this episode. So you just fixed it, and that still would have been funny.
Yeah.
Her trying to course correct and overlearn would have
Right.
been fantastic.
Now, Darren, how much time
And
does
then-
that give us for a Rutherford plot?
Well,
2
I think
seconds.
now I'm thinking, just to take it one step further, like with the stone falls, it actually doesn't crush them because her pads support it in a pillar of tech. But then in the next second, it like slides off, and then so he didn't actually have to push her out of the way, but because he did, he disrupted the pillar of pads, and
Oh my God.
it ends
Pillar
up
of
hurting
pads.
himself.
And he still ascends because he gets what he deserves.
Right. But just cutting out all of the part where she didn't respect his wishes. And that's the thing where,
Yeah.
I mean, I just say it over and over, but like, that's what I loved about the Rutherford line a couple episodes ago, is that everyone did respect his choices, because that's Star Trek.
Right.
I think the funniest
Go ahead,
part, I think, with the Tendi storyline was just I don't know, it's like a Voyager, another callback movie, but I like that she's like goes to the replicator and is like, sand, room temperature. Just
Very
regular
specific. Yes.
colored sand.
Hot, plain tomato soup.
Well, and I think we all liked the koala part at the end. Like, the whole ascension part was funny.
It was great.
Yeah, I wanted to
it
just
was
bring up
beautifully
the-
orchestrated.
Yeah, the ascension sequence.
I can
which was
see
silly.
everything. What does he know?
Oh.
Someone
It
has done
was so
a good
good.
LDS trip there, because those were some good graphics there with the thing
It was some
shooting up
good
and-
LDS. Yeah.
I think they could have used that moment to break the fourth wall a little, and either drop like a Berman or a Roddenberry or a Kurtzman like name, like really break the fourth wall, like that's the koala's name or something.
Or just sees like
Nah.
No,
Oh, yeah,
too
that'd be
much.
funny.
Too
I
much.
mean,
Or
I
you
could
see-
see it.
Too much.
I was gonna say, like, you
I
could do
could see
fourth
it.
wall, like Warner Brothers cartoon where they actually see the animator.
Oh yeah, that's
Like-
true. Or instead of a koala, it's like a great bird.
There
And you
you did
keep
that.
the great bird of the galaxy gallon
No!
going.
We did
Hey!
that
But
joke
this-
last
double
episode.
down on it.
We can't.
Yeah.
No, the only
have it
double
twice
down
in
we
a
that
row.
big
do.
glowy bird.
Yeah, we only do
Yeah.
That would be
Boimler
cool.
and Mariner double downs, triple downs, quadruple downs.
But hey, a koala, that's fine. That's great.
What does he know?
So that was the B plot for this
D minus, no Rutherford.
moist
No.
moist vessel.
Next episode.
I'm tweeting
Next
at him
episode.
right now, Char. What's
let's-
McMahon's Twitter? Where's our Rutherford episode?
Yeah, right? Tweet him now. It's like Mike McMahon. It's very simple.
All right.
He says, Rutherford in this episode says, "Oh, I didn't want to clean the what does he say? The impulse manifolds or whatever." He's like, "I want to clean the other ones." And it's just,
Oh,
I love
yeah.
Rutherford.
He's
Or,
such
He's
a
so
or
nerd.
when he
enthusiastic
puts him
about
on,
everything.
like, oh, you have to balance the tractor beam power. And he's like, oh, I wanted to balance the impulse power. And it's like, it's the same thing. It's like, why is that any different?
And it turns out it was pretty cool anyway.
great.
So there you go. Give it a chance.
Yeah. So yeah, the A plot. Let's talk about it. The ship gets I guess through hubris of the
Yeah.
of
Sheer
the Tellarite
effing
captain.
I did like that moment though, where you could see what was going on in his mind, where he saw the captain's picture on the screen because it was representing their communication link with the Cerritos, and you could see him going, "I'm more important than you. You're staring me down," and because I think for our captain, she kind of almost had the same moment where she saw him on the screen and was kind of thinking again, like, you know, this needs to be our mission, but and then he just, you know,
Screws it all up.
screws it all
Here's
up.
the thing: if we're gonna try to break down the stereotype, like you were talking about it before, Philip, I want them to voice this captain with Kelsey Grammer, and he's the smartest guy in the room, right? And he doesn't pull this
What?
nonsense.
Okay, what?
Yeah.
Okay, Daniel,
So
there's
anyways,
a book.
Oh,
if you want to see,
no.
if you want
Doesn't matter.
to,
It's his voice.
if you
It's
want to
his
see Kelsey
voice.
Grammer, he's already been a Star Trek character. It's called Ship of the Line.
So this whole thing
Diane
leads up to
Carey.
the part where the Cerritos and the
Merced.
Yeah.
Merced, is that right? I keep forgetting. They're both basically infected or whatever. I don't really know what you'd say, what term that would be, but by this mass of whatever that sorts of ultra terraforms within
Genesis in a
seconds,
bottle.
I guess.
Yeah.
And by terraforms, it just turns things into elemental. It's wood or here's
very
some
masks,
ice
if you
or
think
some
about it.
grass.
You know, you need it
It's-
all to terraform.
Yeah, it is
Like-
very masks.
Genesis
It is very
and
masks.
Vegemite.
There you go.
And so, but it's really just a backdrop for the character drama between Captain
Freeman.
thank you, and
Mariner.
and
No, well, you
It's
can
so
I
bad
interrupt
with
you
these
for just a
names.
second,
Mariner,
Daniel,
I don't
because
have them.
we may have
no, go ahead. I'm struggling, Philip.
we may
I
have
need
known
help.
this
Thank you.
already, but I don't think it was until this episode that I learned her first name is Beckett, and that is a cool ass name. Sorry, cool name.
Beckett Mariner.
I'm just gonna call her Beckett from now on because that is a cool name.
It is a cool name. Also, we learned the captain's first name, Carol.
Don't carol me.
Don't carol me. That's true.
I'm razzing the camera right now with my live long and prosper sarcastic thing.
Yeah. So, how do we feel about this plot? Do we
Well,
like
and Beckett
this?
is also kind of funny in a roundabout way because Sam Beckett was
Yes.
Scott
playwright.
Bakula's character.
Hey.
Was Scott Bakula's character in Quantum Leap, so
Oh.
who's also a Star Trek. So it's all cut.
Do we really think that
Back
feels
in
like a
time.
stretch?
Well,
Do we
I
really think
just
that was
briefly-
But it's just a cool name.
I do want to say that like, when I was watching this episode, I really wasn't enjoying it for the first half of it because I was like, oh, the yawning. I mean, that's a joke? Okay. And it was just silly. And again, it's a cartoon. I get it. But anyway, it wasn't until the ship was in danger and I thought is this legit danger? Someone gonna die? But then when it got to them working together, it kind of started to gel for me a little bit. So I
Yeah.
enjoyed the back half of this episode better than the first half.
Okay, yeah. Starting out, why is Mariner very audibly yawning? I get it's boring. I hate meetings too. I really do. Most of them can be summarized by an email, and that's absolutely fine. So I get her point, but at the same time, I kind of feel like that was a bit of an overstep to set up the rest of this plot. That's a little too far. But that said, though, you put that aside and you see the rest of it where all of Mariner's worst nightmares do come true. She gets promoted. She has to do all the things that she hates, that she doesn't want to do, that she
All the
can't have
meetings.
fun with. All the meetings and the poker game, heaven forbid. For the record, I love seeing Dr. Tana with the visor, just like
Of course,
Data
she's
had.
the one with the visor.
Of course,
She's the
of
Data.
course. But the poker games are very different because everybody folds every hand apparently.
Which was funny. Yeah, I liked all of the montage of her as a lieutenant, and she keeps getting called to meetings, and it's beat poetry night, and we're gonna talk about his month in Barcelona.
You know
and
what
just,
the best
like,
kind
that
of
part-
peninsula is?
That was good.
Like,
Yeah, beer.
and you
Peninsula,
can
that
tell
was
that
hilarious.
was the core of this episode when they were writing it. Like
Yeah.
that moment, everything else was getting us there. And
That's right.
and like you said, I like the back half where Mariner's smart. She's been around and she's proven that to Boimler, and this was her kind of proving it to Freeman, to the captain, where like
Carol.
she knew how to. Carol, Mom, whatever you want to call her, but
She has many names.
where she knew what to do because she had read the mission report and she knew how to neutralize
Ironically.
Yeah, just
ironic.
make fun of it, but whatever.
To skim it. But that was cool. And again, but yeah, like you said, Char, it comes back to, is Mariner just all about like not being in meetings? Like, are we going to find some equilibrium where she's promoted, but she just doesn't go to meetings? Or like where are we trying to take this?
Here's what I have a problem.
And that's
Go
okay.
ahead, Dan.
I was just going to say that is my biggest thing here is like, I love the idea that the character is just comfortable, is happy being in this lower position, a lower deck position. She just likes it. She just enjoys it. The thing is, I think it's going to be tied with this realization, character growth or whatever, that, oh, I was just slacking off or for whatever reason because I was rebellious because of my parents or whatever. Now all of a sudden I have all this ambition. I love the idea that there are just people who are comfortable being, quote unquote,
What is that,
basically
like
the opposite
that
of
gray-haired
what
blue shirt we
the
saw
opposite of what
in
Tapestry teaches
Yeah,
us.
where it's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
what's this guy's story? Like, you haven't gone very far in your career, sir.
No, I like that. I kind of like that there are people who are just. Not everybody can be a captain. There's not that many captains. Not everybody.
There's
can
almost
be
no
chief
commanders.
medical officer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for one, not everybody can be a commander. Not everybody wants that kind of responsibility. I cannot personally wait until we find out what it was that got Mariner demoted the first time. Maybe several times. Like, how many times has she screwed up? There might be more than one. And so there's a reason why she kind of revels in the world of lower decks. And I think a big part of it is like, she isn't responsible for other people's lives. So I'm looking forward to finding out what exactly happened that kind of turned her off to that whole thing. What exactly was it? It could be several things, though.
Well, and I think that it's interesting in this episode because, again, during the montage where you can tell, like, a lot of these meetings they're having feel pointless. And I think...
Like what chairs we just, where are
what
new
two
chairs,
chairs
going
are
to
gonna
be?
Or like the follow-up meeting to the meeting and, things like that. But it actually, though, gives credence to Mariner's position where, yeah, like you said, Daniel, like she's comfortable where she is, but she also knows that, okay, I've been a lieutenant before, or I've been an upper, crew member before, but we spend all of our time in meetings and we don't actually just do the work, and she does, and that's what she has the problem with. It's not like she feels the doctor is not good at her job or that the security chief or like, at its core, she obviously respects them, at least a base level. But what she doesn't like is all the baggage that comes along with that upper, the rules and the regulations and the things that they put on to those lieutenant positions.
Does she really respect people that she's exaggeratedly yawning in front of the whole time? I don't know. I would argue maybe that is a disrespectful thing to do and intentionally
Is she doing
so.
that just to piss off her mom? That's what I want to know.
Because it seems like she goes to that nth degree, pun intended, that only when her mom's there. Like even with like when she was stuck with Ransom, like she was insubordinate, but not in the same way. Like it was
That's a good
more, and I feel like the direct disrespect is only with Carol. You know that.
Carol.
But, I mean, first of all, I actually disagree with that because she's not just in the room with her mom when they're having these conference room meetings. She's in the room with everybody.
But her mom is there.
She's wasting everybody's. Right. Well, okay, well, that's not, I mean, you said it was specifically towards her mom. And I don't think that's necessarily the case.
That's true.
And the problem I have with this whole storyline, because I like the bits. I like the, like, when it's her and her mom and they're, like, having a heart-to-heart going down the wall, and she's, like, begrudgingly earning the respect of her mother. But then, at the end, we have this, a mirror of that same scene from the beginning of the yawning scene from the beginning of the episode ends at the end when she just deliberately provokes this admiral. And I'm like, okay, everything that you just set up is now undone. You've just shown that it doesn't matter. It means nothing.
And couldn't she have just told her mom, like, I don't want this?
Right.
Oh, I mean, apparently she has. I mean, I got the feeling that she has had that conversation with her mom several times. Like, I don't want to be a lieutenant. I don't want this responsibility, or I don't want this promotion. But her mom just ignores it. So she feels the only way that she can demote herself is to show off in front of the Admiralty, in that way.
Carol
Right. So then
was
the
being
Admiral
a
has to
bit
do something.
of a Tendi in this episode. You got to respect people's wishes.
Yeah.
But was Tendi respecting anybody's wishes?
We might have lost.
I think not. Okay, well, that's that. Yeah, no, I think Mariner, when Freeman says, oh, we could be a great mother-daughter team, that is the last thing Mariner wants, so she's going to do
can see
anything she can to
It
sabotage
fall out
it.
behind her eyes as soon as she says
Yes,
that. You can
exactly. The nonverbal language in her eyes says everything. Watch it very close
tell.
up.
It basically does the Vertigo push zoom on her. It doesn't, but it basically does that. Like the world is dropping away.
Yeah.
And she's like, I'm going to be in these meetings forever and my life is over.
And she can't stand it. That is the last thing she wants to do. So she finds a way to get herself out of it. And then that's her way out.
Yeah, I guess.
I'm wondering if we're ever going to get an episode where we have like the enlisted crew. Because wouldn't those be like the lower decks? Like if you're not even an ensign, you're like a chief or a petty officer.
The enlisted.
I think.
They're the ones on that
enlisted.
tiny little section between the two nacelles at the very back.
Doing all the work.
There's the struts.
Yeah.
They're in this. They're strutters.
Strutters. They've got their own nickname. That'd be cute. Yeah.
That'd be cute.
Can I do the
Strutters.
segment of the show we do of Philip doesn't get the joke? Okay, so I know we need to have theme music. I get it, but it doesn't work logically. I mean, even comedy has to work logically. Where I forget the guy's name, but the tactical officer throws away the ensign at work sign, and then when the turbolift goes down, she's like, "Someone's working here." He's like, "Sorry." What do you mean, sorry? You saw the sign. Anyway. I mean, I get it.
Care.
It just doesn't work.
He just doesn't care.
No.
But he said
That's
sorry.
how undervalued ensigns are.
Yeah.
I think there's a lapse of understanding in technology if you actually have to physically lubricate the turbo lifts. I'm just saying there's got to be some sort of advance between now and then where they're not literally going up there with DW40 and like spraying the chute.
Dan, okay. You would hope that in the 24th century you wouldn't have to be lubricating the transport tubes, but at the same time you would be hoping that the holodeck could maybe dispose of its own waste by itself too, and it can't apparently, and that I would not be going into that room without a biohazard suit myself. Just saying.
Even Ransom says.
Well, look, it's okay. Everywhere you don't want to touch is black. It's okay. That's how you know.
You know who?
Well, Ransom confirms everything that we've always thought about the holodeck. Yes, people use it mostly for that purpose.
You know who would be good at lubing the turbo lifts? Those exocomps. Man, that they should just be. That's their dedicated job.
They're people. They're people, Philip. They
Talking
have
about
rights.
slavery, Philip. Damn you, man.
Is it? There's more than one of them. Isn't that a race? And won't we've judged how we treat that race,
There's
Philip?
a sign that says
I'll
exocomps
give it a
at
few
work.
years.
So you know.
Exocomps. That actually would have been funny if she was programming the exocomps. That would have been a cool callback.
Hey.
And they go into somewhere.
And then they have to do the dirty work? Okay, I see how you're passing this off. Mhm.
We also got to see that you do get your own quarters once you hit lieutenant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's official.
Mariner hates it.
Yeah.
She has a fruit bowl and everything.
Yeah, she's very upset. She's very upset when she's not exactly where she wants to be.
Very much so. She likes being in close quarters with other people. I think she's just a very social person who needs the company of other people. And if she has her whole quarters to herself, step one, that's bad. And then 2, insufferable meetings, also bad.
Yeah.
Poker
She
games,
doesn't see her
also bad.
friends at all after she gets that promotion, really.
She hates everything, and it's everything Boimler wants in life, which is the greatest contrast. I mean, she didn't have to do anything to earn this. Never mind the whole behind-the-scenes reason why, but this is Boimler's worst nightmare come true, right? She gets the promotion over him, and he's doing everything in his power to get that life. That's what he wants. He wants to be that model Starfleet officer, and somehow he's being overlooked. Heaven forbid. I feel kind of bad for Boimler in this episode.
But then he
I
also
know.
comes up with a very clever plan to fix the
Be evil.
situation. He decides he has to be
But does he?
evil.
But he
Does
doesn't
he?
actually do anything, though. That was the thing. I felt like there was no payoff for that because he was like, "Oh, I'll give you exactly what you want," and then he gets on the bridge and doesn't do anything.
He pours coffee in
Well-
the first officer's crotch.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
which is
but
a great
that,
callback to when Ensign Gomez pours hot chocolate all
Oh,
over Captain
There
Picard,
you go.
but not with the same kind of payoff. I
Yeah.
mean, nothing really happens out of it.
Though,
Yeah,
at the end of the day, am I really complaining there's not a lot of Boimler
Okay,
in this episode? No, not really.
See, I think it would have been
He
funnier
needs to
if
whine more.
instead of the coffee joke, his like act of rebellion is to, oops, I accidentally deactivated the tractor beam, which is literally the whole reason we're here, but yet that act is looked on favorably because it helps protect the ship or something like that. Like I wanted more than just
I think
the
what he should have
coffee
done
on the
is wear his comm badge like really, really high in his uniform. I know Daniel would like that.
in the black area.
It
Yeah.
might have been
Yeah.
might have been cliche, but what I would have liked to have seen is if he was like really trying to be bad, but everything he just has such a warped sense of what's bad that it turns out he was just doing really great things. And
That's what I was saying about the tractor
Yeah.
beam. Like, yeah, because in normally, like turning off the tractor beam, which is the mission, like accidentally, but that would actually help save the ship because you didn't get exposed to more of the guts and stuff.
Truth.
So
I want to talk about real quickly how long Mariner would be in Starfleet with her absolutely blatantly disrespectful attitude. Because I feel like, I mean, I get it. It's pushed for comedy, of course. Like everything in the
Yeah.
show is. It's amped up to 11 and it's fine. But like, I mean, this guy has a medical condition, it sounds like, where he just mispronounces words. And everybody knows it, and she's just being mean to him. So I'm just wondering, would he be the guy, or is her father, maybe we'll see more of this later on, is her father
Admiral,
like
yeah.
Ultra Admiral who's like so high up the chain that he just can block anything? I don't know. I'm just wondering.
That's a good question. We need to know a little more about Mariner's family history, this dynamic, because it seems like things are a little tense between Freeman and this Admiral and Mariner. What has been going on here? We don't fully know. And so I'm really looking forward, honestly, to find that out because there's a whole lot of story there, and that might explain a great many things.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Do we think that there any sort of understanding between Mariner and her mom was reached, or do we think it's going to just kind of be more of the same at this point?
Ooh,
More of the same.
okay, I got a good answer to that. Okay, so Greg Daniels of The Office said that in a story, every character should move that's focused on about 5%. And I feel like Mariner and Freeman did that maybe about 5%, at least on Freeman's part, where she realized that her daughter really is very capable. She is a good Starfleet officer. Never mind her insubordination, her hatred of meetings, and what have you. When it comes down to business, she knows how to get the job done. Now, I'm not sure exactly where Mariner's 5% comes from, if there is any. Maybe there isn't, because she wants to regress immediately. So I don't know if that's met necessarily, but at least they realize that they both can work together. There is that, like, there is something of a bond forged here. And then beyond that, I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That's true. Yeah.
Because that's the thing I'm worried about. I'm just worried about that we're reset now,
Well-
and we're going right back to which is, if that's the show they're making.
But
it's
again,
fine.
where are they supposed to go? Like, the show's called Lower Decks. Like, they can't get promoted permanently. Like, it defeats the purpose of the show.
Well, you
So-
could introduce new characters. It could be anthology.
Maybe they all become junior grade, but so they all collectively move up half a bar or something.
It's like
I'm
a
fine-
lower decks the next
Oh,
generation
man.
with the new brand.
Yeah, pretty much.
You know, Philip, you just brought it up, but we talked about this in the past, like expanding the character roster. And I thought they were kind of doing that with this, apparently Haley Joel Osment character, which I didn't know that's what was going on. But because then they kissed, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
this is happening. And then he just disappears. So I guess he's gone. But I liked that they were starting to add a character. I thought maybe that was going to be a new dude. I guess
I'd
not.
like them to add Rutherford. Can they
Eh.
add him?
Yeah. All right, so let's just talk final thoughts here. And Char, you are a guest, so you can go first. Overall, I mean, you don't have to, put it in order with all the other episodes, but did you love this one? You like it, or thought it was maybe at the bottom of the barrel?
Okay. On first viewing, this one was kind of at the bottom of the Lower Decks barrel so far. The Tendi story really took it down a notch for me. I enjoyed the Mariner and Freeman story, but the rest of it was just, it didn't work for me. So it was kind of off-putting, and I decided, okay, if this is the bottom of the Lower Decks barrel, if this ends up being at the very bottom of the 10 episodes in the first season, that's still a pretty good barrel. This was not a bad episode, but it wasn't great. So upon further viewings, I didn't dislike it as much, but I still had the same problems with it. I just kind of got more used to it. So I don't know. I still am enjoying Lower Decks. I appreciate what they're doing here. I'm enjoying the humor. I like this format. I don't hate it at all. I'm having a good time. I'm appreciating it. So, I mean, that said, this is what I need. This is the escapism I need in 2020. Is I need a good laugh, and I need to forget about things for a little while. So it's doing a very good job of that. So, I mean, this might not be my favorite, but I don't hate it. It's not repulsive. It's just not my favorite episode so far.
Awesome. What about you, Philip?
Yeah, like I said, I enjoyed half of it, and there's no Rutherford, so it on my rewatch, it'll be a skippable one. No Rutherford, no rewatch.
Yeah, yeah, it was fine. I think the show still is funny. There's good jokes in there, and they don't hit 100%, and they never have, but that's fine with me. I'm fine. If you're watching a funny show, it's not always going to be to your taste. And they maintained that quality, I think, of the jokes for the most part throughout the show. And that's been a net positive for me. My problems with the show so far have been all character development based, and I'm always like, why are we focusing on this character if nothing happens or nothing changes? And it was a great point that you brought up, Char, about Greg Daniels talking about The Office, because I always think about that, and he always says we like to leave 2 minutes towards the end of the episode where the characters can just be and exist as characters, as human beings. You don't have to tell a joke in those minutes, and that's what I think the show is lacking. It's like that core, that soul, that it's just missing, because if you go right back to the same jokes that you were at when you started, it feels like, what are we doing here? What's the point of it? But it's still fun, and it's 26 minutes, so it breezes by, so I'm still having a good time too. Darren, what about you?
Yeah, I liked this episode. I think I liked it, or at least the direction it's going. I feel that even though it was a heavy Mariner episode, I understood her a lot more in this episode. In some other ones, she hasn't been my favorite, at least for that particular plot line. But D+, no Rutherford. Need more Rutherford.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so that is it. Apparently, the next week's show has not been named. I can't find it anywhere.
I don't believe so.
Oh.
What's with that?
It's a mystery, huh? What was even?
I guess.
Did they have a little snip of what was going on next week? I don't remember that at all.
They had a preview,
Did they?
and Boimler's girlfriend shows
Oh,
up.
by the way,
that's right.
Yeah.
I don't know if you caught this
On
in
the
5
holodeck?
seconds. Well, even better, I noticed.
Presumably on the
Did you
holodeck.
see the name of the ship they were on?
No.
The Vancouver.
Which means it's his Canadian girlfriend.
Oh my.
That's funny.
It's
That's good stuff.
it's my
And
girlfriend from another
Mariner
ship.
pulls
You wouldn't know.
pants down.
You would have
That's
heard.
spoiler.
You would have heard the ship. Another class.
All right. So yeah, that was fun, guys, talking about that. And I guess I don't know, maybe it'll be called Canada Ship or something. I don't know. But
Canadian Undies.
yeah, there we go. Char, tell everybody here listening where they can find you.
Sure, you can find me doing more Lower Decks content on Second Contact, which is a show I do with Tristan Riddell. We do a live commentary episode here on the Nerd Party, so check that out. Also, if you want to hit me up, contact me on Twitter, and my handle is OhTheProfanity.
Awesome. And Darren, how would people get a hold of you?
Someone wanted to find me, they could look on Twitter, Twitch, or Instagram under username Dr. Sci-Fi, DRSCIFI.
And Philip, what about you?
Well, if folks want to like my tweet about asking Mike, where's Rutherford? Hashtag Cyberman with a plan. They can find me at NC Public Servant.
And if people want to find me, they can find me on Twitter as well, at OneUpDan. That's the number one, not the word as in. That's right, Rutherford's number one. All right, everyone. We will catch you next week talking some more Lower Decks. I'm Daniel Prue.
I'm Philip Gilfus.
I'm Darren Moser.
And I'm Charlene Schmidt doing Buffer Time.
Nice. Stranded here on SETI Alpha 3.
Char!